Are you trying to get into some high FPS games, but you don't have $1,000 to spend on a blaster or on a 3D printer to build said blaster? I present to you the PDW Razor. Let's get into it. So just to give you a little scope of how behind I am on my blaster review backlog, Zen Duo contacted me in February asking me if I wanted anything new to review. I was a little bit busy, but I never turned down products to review because I know how important it is for both businesses that want to sell blasters, and it's also important for the community to have an idea of what's out there that's actually worth it as far as value and performance. They had just picked up this product not too long ago. They asked me to check out the link. I saw it.
God, what I wouldn't do to that. What? No, it's not even mine. I just clicked on it.
I saw a lot of Caliburn in it. I saw a lot of aluminum, a lot of nylon, and I was like, yeah. A couple weeks later, in the beginning of March, the blaster did come in along with some other blaster that I'll cover maybe in a short video. But yeah, we're almost at the end of May and I'm finally getting to this, but I guarantee you it was worth it. The way that this blaster looks is probably not the way you're gonna see it in the box. I did what I consider now to be some essential mods, and I still have a ways to go, and we're gonna get into that. First, let's get into what you get in the box. Behind me here is the box. Mine was a little mangled up because I did take advantage and shoved some extra items in there for me. I actually designed my own barrel scar / protector. I will list this on Etsy and give you the specs at some point in another video. Another video that I have to get to. The foregrip that came with the blaster is a little bit vague, but thankfully it has a Picatinny rail allowing you to customize it and put any foregrip of your choice. To me, it was between this Pyrangle and the Caliburn / Talon claw grip. I chose this one because I like this vertical area here. Gives me a little bit more leverage. Not that you need it with the blaster the way it comes out of the box, but I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. This blaster ranges between 180 bucks and 200 bucks. What do you get for that? I'll tell you. Full aluminum upper. So this entire area from here all the way to about here is cast aluminum alloy. The blaster does feature a carriage and spine kind of assembly, much like the Caliburn / Talon claw. Basically, you have this stainless rod that helps attach the rear two plunger tube housings together, as well as this front red retainer piece kind of holds this cartridge. I like to call it the cartridge area because it's where the barrel, the prime return spring, primary plunger housing assembly, the secondary plunger housing assembly, the pusher assembly, and your barrel. This is basically your firing cartridge, and then everything around it is just furniture, just like with real firearms. So you have this aluminum upper, then you have this nylon receiver which is blended into the stock, and it has a built-in cheek rest too. I didn't find any problems with the length of the stock despite me having pretty long arms. I like the way that the geometry of this area is built into the blaster because it allows for that CQB aesthetic and feel. Even though the blaster's not quite 100% CQB, it does have a very long front end, but I like to think of it kind of like a middle of the road blaster. You could use it for both. You could use it for a little bit of sniping and a little bit of CQB because it's not way long to be like a Saber Apex Prime, and it's not too short to be like a Unicorn. So it's kind of like pushing the outer limits, still not full-blown Harrier or Saber. Performance of the blaster was pretty good out of the box. I was getting about 150, which is kind of like what everything I get from China ships with. I've done the Fire Phoenix carbine. That one was hitting between 140, 150 stock. Unicorn between 120, 140. Seagull stock was between 140, 150. I don't know if it's a regulation or just the way they ship it to allow the user to then down mod it or up mod it to his or her use. There is a couple of things you have to do immediately, especially if you're serious about competition when you get this blaster. When you take it out of the box and you start firing, you're gonna notice your deviation is all over the place. You'll get darts hitting 116 FPS, you'll get one dart hitting 168. The seals. This blaster has 2 seals on the plunger head / plunger tube housing area. It also has 2 extra O-rings on the pusher head itself. Those 2 O-rings, I actually was able to replace them with the 2 O-rings that come in the Dart Zone Dictator. They just happen to be the perfect width inner and outer diameter to replace the ones that came with this blaster, and they actually improved performance substantially for me. The rear two, I don't know where I got those from, but I got two identical ones from my O-ring bag that were much beefier and better suited for these grooves than the ones that came with the blaster. The ones that come with the blaster are all nice and teal, but that is for show. We want performance. I also added a little bit of silicone lube in there. The blaster does suffer from something called too much barrel. To help you put things into perspective, this is a stock Dart Zone Mark 1.2 barrel. No, I'm not joking. I actually have a video coming out about this blaster. This is 5 5/8. Believe it or not, the Unicorn is actually longer than the Dart Zone at 6 1/4 inch. The average length of a lot of these blasters, like the Fire Phoenix Carbine, the Seagull, I'm talking about the shortest barrel included in the kits if they have 2 barrels in a kit, is usually between 6 and 7 inches, or between 140 and 170 millimeters. This blaster comes stock with a 250 millimeter barrel. That is about a length of a standard 12-inch ruler with an additional inch, so about 13 inches of barrel on this beast. The spring that comes with it is a nice little, what seems to be a 1.5 or a 1.8 millimeter by 250 millimeter spring, but it's just not enough spring to get those darts properly pressurized for some high FPS games. Not yet. I went ahead and I ordered a 250 millimeter, 2 millimeter wire diameter spring and a 300 just to test them both. I'll probably address this in a future video, but I just felt that the blaster does need more spring. It has way too much barrel. That's actually a good thing. This blaster already came with the equipped barrel. It just doesn't have the horsepower back here for what it's capable of. I see people online posting about their setups with even longer barrels than the stock one and stronger springs, and they're hitting way over 250 FPS. So I know it's capable of it, but we're just not there yet. Another quality of life improvement you might want to do to the blaster is convert it to Talon mag, and it's very easy to do. Only the back lips of the magwell, which are designed for the thinner factory magwell, have to be trimmed. The factory magwell will still fit with minimal wobble, which I appreciated, but now you have access to run your entire Talon mag inventory on your Razor. I found that incredibly useful. With the popularity of Talon mags, everybody's running them. You find them everywhere. They're fairly inexpensive. The 18 rounders fit 20 rounds very comfortably. They're the go-to mag versus anything else out there. So I'd highly recommend you do this mod. If you need details exactly on how to do that, follow us on Instagram. We post little shorts with tutorials every once in a while. Let's talk about accuracy. So accuracy was pretty decent. I was using Worker high-end, the reds, which are the medium weights. With about a mag of 18 darts, I probably hit my target with about 10. So that's not terrible. I have a really, really good P-car here, 6-line P-car. I'm actually gonna talk about this in another video. Like I said, if the blaster had more air behind that dart, it would probably make use of everything else better, even a B-car or a P-car or a SCAR as well. Just bear that in mind. Know that when you buy this blaster, if you're gonna want those high-end games, you just gotta have to beef it up a little bit more. Nobody that I know wants to spend 180 bucks, wait about 10 to 14 days, get their blaster, and then find out it's only good for super stock or maybe some high FPS HVZ, where you could have just spent another 10 somewhere else, gotten the necessary equipment to get your blaster versatile for any game type. AR/new gen kind of grip. I really like it. It's very, very comfortable, especially for my hands. The blaster is very balanced. I like the center of gravity on it. It's very, very nice. I've played with it for extended periods of times. Now, I will say one thing. If you want a blaster that you're gonna use as a primary all day, bear in mind that it's not light. I mean, it's light, but it's not light compared to your everyday Nerf blaster. It has its weight. These are metallic and nylon components. You got stainless steel rods, your aluminum alloy upper, and then you have everything else, just solid nylon. I'm not the kind of guy to say, oh, be a tough guy and just husk around this blaster all day, or you're a lightweight. Of course, attrition can affect everybody in different ways, and I just want to make you aware that if you want to primary this blaster all day, just consider that. Other than that, I am very happy with it. This one out of the box is probably about a 7 out of 10. With a couple extra bucks, it'll probably be close to a full 10. I have yet to report on that because my parts are on the way, and when I do get them, I'll probably make a second video on this. Now that I have local games to go to, I can try it and test it. But for now, I am quite pleased. Don't forget, you get 12% off any item, even if it's on sale. So if you've been keeping an eye on this and then you watch it go on sale, you can use the code NNN at Zenduo. I'm gonna have the link in the description for this product as well as their webpage. You can get that 12% off on any product on their page. Got a big surprise for you guys on the next video. If you enjoyed this one, you're definitely gonna like this one. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay blasting, foam fan.